Hi, this is Claire Boscott and welcome. It's lovely to see you all and thank you very much for joining me for my interview with the expert. And today I have the extreme pleasure to welcome Mike Aguilera. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us during Customer Service Week. I'm sure you've got loads of things going on as well, so it's a real pleasure to have you with me today. We met actually about 4 or 5 years ago, didn't we? It was one of the Mystery Shopping Provider Association conference, and it was in Sardinia, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, that was.
How time flies.
Yes, and I followed you ever since.
I've been stalked
Yeah, absolutely.
in a good way.
A very good way. Absolutely, a very good way. So let me just introduce you to the audience for those who don't know you that much. But you are a communication expert and you're specializing in subconscious communication, don't you? Really rapport building and communication technique, and you work with big large company, you work with the leaders, you work with people like IBM and Apple, and you've been doing thousands and thousands of conferences and workshop and helping businesses to actually communicate better. You've also got a couple of books. So you got one which is called Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less, which I'll be questioning you about that one. And then you've had another one called The Art of Networking. So you actually do everything that I love. You talk about rapport, you talk about networking, you could talk about relationship, and that's what it's all about. Customer service, isn't it?
Yes, I guess we can talk for days or hours.
Absolutely. But there was something else I wanted to point out because you are also a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic program. It's a hard word to say. A lot of people call it NLP, doesn't it? So my very first question is, what is NLP, and how does communication really impact on delivering exceptional customer service?
Okay, so NLP, Neuro Linguistics Programming, as in neuron, as in the mind or the thoughts, linguistic, your words and your body language, and programming, the programs or patterns that everyone has uniquely to process information and make decisions. And I came across it years ago when I read one of Tony Robbins' first book, I think Awaken the Giant. He talks about NLP, and I became fascinated with it. And back then I was in the high-tech field. I was always looking for personal development products and things to improve myself. I was also labeled as shy, had the fear of public speaking. So NLP transformed my life, and I was able to make some changes and help other people. And NLP is a form of communication that's modeled after therapists. The therapists that were creating amazing change in people, helping them overcome phobias, bad habits, breakthroughs, anxieties. So there's techniques that are on therapy, certain techniques to help people, but also there's information or techniques on NLP based on the communication, the words that the therapists were using, their body language, the questions they were asking, the meaning behind the answers, and how to communicate to someone both consciously but also at an unconscious level out of their awareness that will create change in them, to have them take action. And that's been my fascination, and that's what I teach and train, and that's also what my book is based on, Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less.
Excellent, right? It's very interesting. I'm quite interested into that as well. So I think that you seems to be you can learn all the time, can't you, in that kind of things, and everything kind of come back, and it just makes so much sense when you pull it all together. Because at the end of the day, communication in a business is crucial, really, isn't it?
Yes, yes, and NLP is primarily based around human behavior,
Right.
how other people behave, and understanding them, and also understanding yourself, so that you know why you react a certain way or how you can be more flexible. And yes, human behavior in the sense of if it's for business, for leadership, or relationships. It's all about really understanding people and understanding yourself, and then just creating change in yourself or creating change in people to talk to them and influence them in a positive way. And yes, even to this day, I'm still learning. I'm still reading books or listening to different speakers, and there's always different nuances or a different way of explaining things. And so I have my own unique way of explaining NLP and how it helps with business, with leadership, with rapport. And and it's something that I love to do. And so, yes, I'm blessed. I'm doing something that I love to do.
Yes, absolutely. It's that passion behind it, isn't it?
Hmm.
So how do you? I mean, I think we talk about sometimes having bad communications with your customers, but I think it comes from the inside first. So how would you help a business to have a better internal communications?
Yes, to me, in my book, I have what's called the instant rapport formula, and it's broken down into 4 elements. The
Okay.
first, which is the foundation, is the mindset. And so in rapport, and also in business and leadership and sales or networking, uh, your mindset, what you're thinking about, will actually be projected. So if someone is going to meet somebody for the first time or meet somebody that they know, both elements, you want to have the mindset of assuming rapport, meaning assume you're going to like that person
Hmm.
and assume they're going to be okay with you. And so when you assume rapport, you're not focused on yourself, you're actually projecting warmth as if they're a friend already.
Okay.
And subtleties will start to happen. So both in business, if you're working with customers or with coworkers, if you think a meeting is going to go bad, you're going to project that. It's
Yeah.
also what's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. That
Yes.
you're going to react a certain way, you're going to expect certain signals, and you're going to be possibly misreading people. So just expect you're going to like the person, expect the meeting to go well, expect to go to a networking event, and expect to meet great people.
Hmm.
When you have that expectation, you create filters that will actually start to look for that. And you'll start to see some nice people, great people that you can connect with. If you expect also a networking event to go bad, you're going to look for the bad people that are not good contacts for you, and you'll miss a great opportunity. So the foundation for me is your mindset. And there's different elements that go through in the mindset. And the expectations, assuming rapport, it's okay with them, being okay with you. And there's some other energy techniques that I also teach. The main thing is just your expectation, because what you expect, you will project,
Hmm.
and people will sense that, both consciously and also at an unconscious out of their awareness.
Hmm.
So there's a lot on the mindset, and that's, to me, the foundation. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. It's I think it's about it's having that positive thinking all the time, isn't it? You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think in an internal with internal communications and different departments, and they're all kind of working at different levels, so they can understand each other better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It,
right, correct.
they must understand what somebody else is doing to understand how they're doing it and why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And uh, understanding what's going on in the interaction, and also that you're impacting the relationship and the interaction, how you're thinking, and then also from that, your voice, the words that you use, your body language, the questions you ask. And so, yes, you want to also be able to project it so that it creates an openness of a relationship and conversation.
Sure. So you talk about appearance, body language, and I use and I don't know if you use that as well, but the non-verbal communication, and I use that figure, which is 55% of people base their first impression or their perception of somebody on that body language, that appearance, that kind of outside appearance from people before the words used and before actually they talk or they say anything. Is that first impression so crucial?
Yes, it is. And so that's why you want to project warmth. And yes, there's been many studies. There was a book that came out some years ago called Blink, like in the blink of an eye, by Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay.
And he took studies from different professors, and there was one, I think Nalini Obama, I can't remember the name. However, she was a professor at Stanford, and she did some studies in regards to first impressions. She did what was called time slicing. She would take an event that would be an hour long, and then she would cut it down into minutes, down to seconds, and ask people their impression of what they watched the first 1 hour, and then different people, what their impression was after just a matter of seconds. And they were quite accurate in regards to if anyone was there for a whole hour to watch a sales presentation or to watch a professor, did they have the same impression from a full hour versus seconds? And so we have, what happens is we look for patterns and we have filters. And so when we see somebody walk and talk and move a certain way, we get an impression, we have an intuition. And even before they talk. And so, yes, first impressions used to be thought 7 seconds, and now it's said it could be as soon as 2 seconds.
Wow.
So the way you approach somebody is critical, and your body language, the way you move. And sometimes you won't be able to change it instantly. You might have to, they may already have an impression about you, by what you're wearing or a uniform or something like that. So sometimes you might have to, in a conversation, communicate in a way so that they have a good impression about you. And that's different techniques that I go into, like matching and marrying, connecting with them, reflecting back, being in the same kind of energy they are, using certain words, avoiding certain words. However, just walking up to somebody, the way you approach somebody, and your emotions and your gestures will create openness and begin that instant rapport or not.
Okay, so you've mentioned rapport a couple of times, which is the word I love using as well, because it's everything in life is about rapport. That's everything is around it. It's about those relationships. So just tell me a little bit more about rapport. How do you use it? Why is it so important?
Yes, and so there are different stages of getting into rapport. First, someone has to feel okay or safe around you, and then they have to get a sense of connection, that you're like them, or at least there's a connection. And once that happens, then they're open to hearing your message, because if that rapport is not there, if they don't trust you or like you or don't feel a connection, then they have filters. Whatever you're saying is going to be filtered, like, are they trying to sell me something and they just want to get something from me? Or if the filters shift and there's that rapport, like, I like this person, I have a connection with them, or they're being sincere or caring, then they'll hear your message. If it's a sales message, if it's for leadership, whatever it is, you have to build that rapport first. In some cases, if you're a military general, you don't have to have the rapport. They're just going to take you directly. But in general, in business and relationships, you want to have that rapport. And again, the mindset is one, but how you approach people to have them feel safe around you. One technique that I share that's also been studied is just your gestures. When you approach somebody, approach with your hands and your palms open and say welcome or hello, and have them down to your side. And so this is the first stage of someone feeling okay or safe around you. So it's a business owner, so a client comes walking into their shop, say, hey, welcome, just have your palms open down your sides.
Right, okay.
And it shows you're being open, you're not hiding anything, you're being vulnerable. Yeah. And the main thing in regards to this body posture position, it shows that you don't have any weapons in your hands.
Yeah, that's
so it's in our DNA. Versus someone with the hands behind their back and say, hey, welcome. Yeah. It's just a different feeling. Yeah. So just networking, business, even in meetings and for leadership, hey, come on in my office, welcome. And that's the first stage of someone feeling safe around you. They just have this intuition. There's patterns that you're generating, and the pattern of showing your hands is another signal, a pattern that they pick up and they process of, okay, I'm feeling safe around this person. And then you start to connect with them in rapport. And what I mean by that is there's matching, it's called matching and marrying, but just match their energy. If someone's moving around a little quicker, talking fast, you might want to speed up your voice pattern. If someone's moving slower and talking slow, then you want to slow down. So they get a sense that you're like them, and there's a certain resonance or harmony. And it's what's called creating a tribal effect. You're like part of my tribe. And so it creates that rapport. And then from that, then you can start the conversation. And people want to know that they can trust you, they like you, but a big element is, do you care about me? Or am I just a transaction to you?
Yes.
So by simply being curious and asking them questions about them will also accelerate the rapport. Questions like, what do you do for fun? Or how's your business? And just ask more questions, and then you want to talk. You want to, there's a rule of thumb saying that good sales professionals talk 20% of the time. It's a 4-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
So if you're talking 50% of the time or 75% of the time, you're not being caring. You're just kind of talking and want to be acknowledged. So people want to get a sense that you're acknowledging them and that you care about them. And so that's another element of rapport. And then the answers or questions. And when you have a conversation with somebody, in NLP, you can start to pick up signals on their decision-making process. Are they motivated to avoid pain or to achieve? Do they need procedures, or do they typically just want the bottom line? Are they very visual? Are they very auditory, or are they more into feeling and kinesthetics? And so once you know what to look for, that will also help accelerate the rapport, because you'll be talking to them in a way that they say, this makes sense. This person is really understands me. And that, again, will help with more business, with leadership, with relationships, because you're, in essence, talking their language. And to somebody hearing words in certain ways in that connection will open up doorways of opportunity for you to then present your solution or build a relationship, business relationship, or whatever it is. And so there's different stages, and just matching and mirroring and some rapport and asking questions and knowing what to look for, so that when you present a solution, you're presenting it strategically and precisely in a way that it is very understandable to that person. And then also you have to be cautious of the words that you use in your voice pattern, because your voice is a musical instrument, and certain words can create a negative train of thought.
And again, it's the same thing about you were saying using mirroring in the words that you use. So if somebody uses amazing and it's amazing and it's amazing in a conversation, you know the best way to connect with that person is not to say it's fabulous, but it's to say it's amazing. And then, you know, you're connecting with that same word that they're actually using, isn't it?
Yes. And you can also use the word if you do a follow-up in an email. I had an amazing conversation with you. And in matching and mirroring, you can still do the same thing also in an email. If someone sends you an email and says, "Dear Claire," then you would want to send an email back to them and say, "Dear Mike," not "Hey Mike" or "Hi Mike." And so if you send me an email said, "Hey, dear Mike," I'd say, "Dear Claire" back. Or if you said, "Hi Mike," I'd say, "Hi Claire" back. And so it's also, even in emails, you can match and mirror how someone communicates.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So the way people walk, the way the gesture they use, certain high energy words like amazing or wonderful, or certain words that have a certain sense of importance to them, you can use them. You don't want to use them too much to where it sounds like you're overusing it, but you just want to, you can sprinkle into your conversation, and they will get a sense of you talk like them, you're like them, that tribal effect. And would you like to know another technique on how to create instant rapport when you say hello?
Please. Instant, just like that. Less than 90 seconds.
Yes, less than 90 seconds. And so if you say welcome and someone's walking up to you, everyone has a unique way of saying hello. It's at an unconscious level.
Okay.
And so same thing with matching and mirroring. You want to reflect back someone's hello, because someone may say hi and lift up their head, or hello, or hey, or hey, what's going on? You know, they would say it and move, and their gestures or facial expressions or head motions will all be uniquely different. And so when someone says hello to you, and they say hi, you say hi back to them, the way they say it. And that'll get matching mirror. You're connecting with them, and they're getting a sense, because they don't know how they say hello. They can't see themselves. They usually don't look in the mirror and say hello. Sure. And so they can feel it, and then once you kind of reflect it back to them, it helps accelerate that rapport, like, hey, you know, this person's, I don't know, there's something about this person. And when you're watching somebody and you want to match and mirror, and you're watching the way they walk, their gestures, and how they say hello, you're now paying attention to them in a special way where they get a sense, whoa, they're really paying attention to me. And so you're actually accelerating the rapport that way, because you're looking at them and you're making eye contact. Because most people, if someone approaches them, they'll, hey, how you doing? They'll look around and see what else is going on, and that will break the rapport. So if you're looking for signals in a way to connect with people, then this will help you, just watching what to look for, the matching and mirroring, and how they say hello. And this will help accelerate the rapport in 90 seconds or less.
That's very true, you know, and I think we talk a lot about mindfulness, you know, at the moment, and it's all about, you know, really being present. And I think a lot of the time we prepare our questions in our head for something else that we're going to talk about, rather than actually generally listening to the person who's talking and just listening to them and being there and being present. And the other day I did that, and I was talking with somebody, and I saw somebody passing, and I just said hi, and I waved, and the person in front of me it just stopped, and for a second I felt so rude, because I stopped our conversation to say hello to somebody else, and I felt really, really rude. And that's the kind of things that you mean, isn't it? It's really about being present with the person at that moment in time.
Yes, and I've done that also. What I do now is, meaning I broke eye contact and realized, the person was in the middle of saying something. I just looked away like it wasn't important. And so now what I suggest you do and what I've done is if I see somebody that I
Put
need to say
shields
hello to
on.
someone, and we're in a conversation, I would tap the person on the arm or the shoulder or just stick my hand out and say, oh, excuse me for a moment, and just create a pause and say, hey, hi. Just wanted to say hello to them and didn't want to be disrespectful. So create a reason or just add that into your conversation. If you do need to break away, if someone's trying to get your attention or you have the attention of somebody else and you want to be respectful and say hello to them, then just say, excuse me, oh, hi, and then, okay, I'm sorry, and then get back to the conversation.
Right, okay, yes, that's very true. And then you don't feel that you're not being polite or you're being rude by actually cutting the conversation completely.
Yes, exactly.
So Mike, tell me about your book. So Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds.
90 seconds or less, yes.
That's amazing.
And it can happen. It does happen many times, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Yeah, so there's times you probably had instant rapport, and there's times you didn't, and you didn't know why. So the book is based on how to help you. It's on mindset. There's about 12 energy techniques and mindset techniques that help people create rapport and get in rapport and project that and project warmth. And then I go into section 2, which is contact or the first impression. So when you approach someone, hello, and where you stand and how you move and how you hand things to people, things you want to do to create a positive, good impression. And then part 3 is what I call the conversation. When you're having a conversation with somebody, questions you can ask that will reveal how they make decisions and their values, things that you need to know, and what to look for to identify, and what to listen for to identify their motivation in regards to making decisions, or the very visual or auditory kinesthetic, so you can present your information or present to have a meeting with them in a way that is engaging to them, and how to identify them by just watching and listening or asking certain questions that will help reveal that. And then part 4 is what I call the follow-up. So in many cases in business and relationship, there's always a follow-up meeting. You meet someone at one event, and then there's a follow-up meeting. And so in the follow-up meeting, I go into how to regain the rapport, and then also at that point, if you want to, how to position yourself with body language and words and motions to position yourself as a leader or trusted advisor, not a salesperson, or not unless you want to be a friend or just a friend, just how to control the meeting in a positive way that positions you as that expert or that leader, trusted advisor, so that people open up to you and can ask for your help. So that's what the book is all about. And I also have a home study course where I actually recorded, in essence, the book with 3 hours of streaming video where people can learn online as a home study program and with audio, and also my book. And the book is available on Amazon.
Great.
Or on my home study course.
Okay.
It's also an ebook format.
And on your website as well?
Yes.
And so just give me the address of your website. I'll put it on just at the back of it so people can pick up on it. But it's just MikeAguileras.com, isn't it?
Yeah. M-I-K-E, as in Mike. So MikeAguilera.com. And I'll put together a special offer for your guest, just MikeAguilera.com/offer.
Thank you.
MikeAguilera.com/offer, and there'll be what I'll do is pack together the home study program and a special discount with some bonuses on that.
Oh, brilliant! That's excellent. Thank you so much. So just before we go, Mike, I think you've probably said them during the conversation, but if you could just recap 3 of the technique on how to build rapport with somebody. So you probably run them through already during the conversation, but just to recap at the end, what would be 3 of your top tips on how to build rapport and have great communications?
Okay. Number 1, the mindset. Assume rapport. Expect to meet great people. Expect the person or the meeting to go well, and you will project that. And if it doesn't go well, then you just at least you're prepared and you know what to do if it doesn't. But in most cases, if you expect it or expect rapport and expect the meeting to go well, it'll enhance, and it can, in many cases, will happen that way. And then number 2 is just watch people and look at the way they move, the words they use, and listen to them. And from that, match their energy, be in harmony with them. Because if someone's talking slowly, and usually they talk slow, they're more in their feelings and their anesthetic, and you come across talking really fast to them, they'll get a sense, whoa, this person is coming on strong. Or a fast-talking salesperson. But if someone talks fast, you might have to speed up and talk in burst or slow down. Just be in harmony with people. Just watch the way they move, the walk, the way they say hello, and then just reflect it back as much as you can without, you don't have to do everything exactly. You just be close to it. The main thing is just match their energy.
Sure.
And so the mindset, matching the mirroring,
Yes.
the hello thing. And then the other is, during a conversation, ask questions so that people get a sense that you care.
Yes.
And I won't have time to go into NLP questions, but just in general, one question I advise people that they can ask that will help enhance the rapport is, ask somebody, so what do you do for fun? Or do you have any hobbies? And this could be a coworker, it could be at a networking event. And what happens when you ask that person that question, they get a sense, well, they really care about me, they want to know about me. And it's not a personal question, but what's really powerful about this question is people will light up. Oh, fun. This is what I do for fun. And they'll start getting into that emotional state. And so since NLP is based on human behavior and emotions, that's what you want them to feel good around you.
Yes.
So asking questions like that and just being caring and just asking more questions instead of presenting will have people open up to you. And then from that, powerful words you can use, a dangerous word. Would you like me to share one dangerous word that people tend to use?
Yes.
At the end of a networking event or a meeting, one dangerous word I'll share with you that people use commonly is the word hope. H-O-P-E, hope.
Right, okay. Oh, I hope okay.
Yeah. So I hope to hear from you soon. No, I hope you like this information.
Yes.
I hope, if you imagine your doctor saying, I hope I can find what's wrong with
Yes.
you, you probably say, I don't know, it doesn't sound too confident. And so people will tend to use that word to be polite or humble. However, in business, it creates a sense of they're not confident in the message.
Right.
And it breaks a rapport, it breaks a confidence. So at the end of a meeting or at the end of a networking event, avoid saying that. I hope to hear from you.
Yes.
Say instead, I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
create that train of thought.
You know,
that's a lot of it.
Yeah, no, there's another one that I pick up on all the time, and when you say somebody else, so how are you today, and they say, not too bad. I'm like, what do you mean not too bad? It's wrong, not too bad. You're good, you're well, you're excellent. You're never not too bad.
Yes. And another one that usually waiters and some people of service use a lot is you say thank you and they say no problem.
Oh, yes.
I didn't think it was a problem. You should have just said you're welcome or my pleasure. But that's a phrase, that's not a word.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time today. It was really good to hear from you. And if anybody wants to download your book or go on the course, I'll put the little the website address in the back of it. And I look forward to seeing you or meeting you again very soon. I hope so.
Yes, it would be great to reconnect. If not virtually, in person one of these days.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Speak to you soon.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye now.